All right, so today we're diving into something really powerful. It's this piece of writing that's basically a manual for our kind of chaotic times. It puts forward this idea of a new myth, a whole new kind of inner ritual, really, that's designed to help us navigate a world that, well, it just doesn't make a lot of sense anymore. And right out of the gate, the tone is set. This is not about finding some cozy shelter to hide from the world's problems. The core idea here is that our inner world, our cave, it has to become a place of active transformation. It has to be a forge where we're literally hammered into shape by fire and pressure. So why do we even need this new approach? Well, the argument is that the old maps we used for life, the classic hero's journey, they just don't apply anymore. The world they were meant to navigate has fundamentally fractured. This comparison really gets to the heart of it. I mean, think about it. The old myth always assumed the hero left a stable, normal world, and that eventually they could go back. But in our new reality, that stable world is gone. There's no return ticket. The goal isn't to go out and rescue the village anymore. It's to become a person who can be a safe home for whatever manages to survive the fire. And these are the specific forces doing the fracturing. The source puts it so poetically. AI that just drinks our attention, the reality of climate collapse, and these little dopamine slots on our screens that have completely replaced the wonder of just looking up at the night sky. And all of this leads to a really crucial shift in what the goal even is. It's not about transcendence anymore, escaping our reality for something better. The new journey, according to this text, is all about continuance. It's about simply finding a way to keep going with integrity. So if the old journey is obsolete, well, the old hero has to be too, right? So what takes their place? This is where the text proposes a brand new archetype, one for this era of constant crisis. Enter the Flamebinder. Now, this isn't a hero who swoops in and solves everything, no. A Flamebinder is someone who holds that tension, that living knot, between what's dying all around us and the spark of what's still worth saving. Their main job is to protect one single coal of meaning from all the storms of distraction and despair. And let's be crystal clear about what this means. The Flamebinder is not some savior you wait for or a guru you follow. The text is very specific. This is an internal role. It's an archetype you have to embody for yourself. Okay, so what's the big fight for this new hero? It isn't a dragon or some villain out there in the world. The entire battle has moved inward. The source gives this trial a name, the silent extinction. And this isn't the loud, fiery apocalypse you see in movies. It's a quiet, internal crisis, the death of felt meaning. It's that creeping feeling where everything on the surface works. You go to work, you pay your bills, but deep down, nothing truly matters. And the end result of this quiet extinction? It's the vanishing of the inner witness. It's this hollowing out of the self, that part of you that actually observes and reflects and cares. You're still a functioning human on the outside, but inside, well, the person is no longer home. Okay, so we've diagnosed the crisis, we've met the new archetype, but here's the thing. This text isn't just theory, it's a call to do something. So how does one actually practice this? Let's get into the ritual itself. This is where the writing gets really cinematic. It starts with this incredible transition, imagining the reflection of a dead pixel in your eye being replaced by the real, living light of a flame. Then, the focus pulls in to your hands. You're preparing the space, placing 3 symbolic objects in front of the fire, grounding this whole thing in the physical world. And finally, the practice is activated. Words are spoken out loud. The flame seems to respond. And this abstract intention, it becomes a real living moment. See, this isn't just thinking, it's about doing. So here are the practical things you need for your own forge. First, a place where you will not be interrupted for about 40 minutes. Then, 3 objects, one from the machine world, one from the living world, and one object that represents the future self you're trying to build. And of course, a single, real flame. Okay, let's just walk through the steps. You sit with the flame at eye level, machine object on your left, living object on your right. You hold the future object right against your chest. Then you do a specific breathing pattern, whispering the mantra, I see the dying, I keep the coal. You do that 7 times. You're acknowledging the decay, but you're committing to protecting that spark. Then you speak out loud what you're going to stop feeding, like a specific app or a bad habit. And finally, you ask the flame one single question. And this is the absolute core of the entire practice.
After you strip away the distractions, after you acknowledge the state of the world, you just ask this one essential question. Not, how do I fix everything, but simply, what inside of me must remain lit?
Now, the ritual doesn't end with some flash of lightning or divine answer. No, it ends with a physical measurement. You just sit there with that question until the candle has burned down by 1 single inch. And that 1 inch of burned wax, that represents everything. It's the physical price of your commitment. It's the time, the focus, the energy you just dedicated. That is the cost of binding yourself to your own intention. Which brings us to what might be the most crucial point of all. The real binding isn't just what happens during the ritual. It's the choice to actually do it in the first place. And here it is. The direct challenge from the text. It draws a line in the sand. It acknowledges that, yeah, a lot of people might read this and feel moved by the ideas, but it separates them from the people who will actually do it. And again, it hammers home the real goal. This is not about reaching some perfect, blissful state of enlightenment. It's a practice. It's a tool for continuance, for just showing up day after day to keep that one essential flame alive inside you. And this is the final, powerful thought. That gap, the gap between feeling moved and actually doing something, that's not just some small difference. According to this text, that gap is the entire new story. The new hero's journey isn't written in some grand adventure, but in the quiet, consistent, private choice to just practice.